people, what they do is this: they learn, and I was very guilty of doing this as well. Look for the keywords order block, imbalance. Okay, this is order block, this is imbalance. I've got the holy grail now, and they'll go and do it. But they don't understand where ICT excels is understanding the narrative, right? Knowing is the day likely to point towards higher prices or lower prices. This is where you should start from. If you can sieve out a bias, you should only trade in line with that bias, because in a 5 minute time frame, it's going to look like it's offering both sides of the day. But if you look at the daily candle, the expansion is probably going to favor one side. Now, you can sieve out whether that daily candle is going to favor one side. And this is what ICT says, right? But these are the things that SMC people don't talk about. They don't touch on the narrative. They don't touch on the higher time frame analysis. They only just teach you. And essentially why it works, because you have to think about human psychology. You know, when we look at videos, and I was guilty as for this myself, right? We're looking for the most, appealing video to watch. Oh, this one has a nice model and a rectangled candle that I can just watch, compared to a 1 hour lecture.
Yeah.
It's going to be way more appealing to watch. But how good is it for you? It's going to trap you into this short-term mindset. Like, I get the question every single day, right? Which order block do I use? Which fair value gap do I use? What do I do? I get sent charts, right, of the 5 minute time frame, and I tell people, what use is this 5 minute time frame without the idea of perhaps a 4 hour or 1 hour a day?
So without context.
Exactly, you're just taking a trade without context. And I say to people all the time, if you have a daily bias, and one thing that really does my nut in with SMC traders is the super tight stop losses, because these things, it's not even taught by ICT in any video. He always kind of says make your stop loss safe. The way I see a stop loss is this: it's an invalidation level, right?
Yeah.
It's simply just invalidation. At that point, you just want to get out. Now, on a funded account, let's say I have a 300k funded account with MFF. One of the accounts is 300k, right? I'm not putting 1% risk on a 2-pip stop loss, because they can open the spreads up, and I could get slipped on a 2-pip stop loss.
Yeah.
A safe stop loss and a take profit that's gonna get hit more times than not, with an entry that should reverse in your favor. Retail, SMC or not, do that for long enough, so that's it. It's consistency, isn't it?
Oh yes, the objective is obviously to be profitable, doesn't? I know a lot of emphasis is on risk to reward and small stops and lower timeframes, and I think that's where a lot of the sort of attention has been brought to, especially over recent years. I think there is a slightly better narrative coming along now. I think there's a lot of people who have probably spent time and built experience in SMC now for a few years to have learned those lessons, and they're becoming a bit more vocal, whether they're on Twitter or Instagram or wherever. So, people, hopefully if they come across these people and listen to them, then the narrative's changing slightly. Things like this podcast,
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, there's a huge problem with people just getting sucked into those lower time frames, a lack of context, trading confluences, and as you say, when people watch videos, they'll watch a video and they'll see a video as an hour, when instead if they watch just a commentary, thinking, he's talking about the markets, for example, or a forecast, or case study. These are things direct straight to the end, rather than the beginning. And I think probably people get put off and start to hate ICT, for example, because a video might be an hour and a half and there might be some rant in there, that they then feel resentment because they don't want to watch an hour and a half video. They don't want to put in that effort and time. You know what I'm saying?
And I think as well, a lot of it is waffle. And now he saes it's on purpose. Is it on purpose?
I just think it's his nature. By the sounds of it, it sounds like his personality.
I have an uncle that just talks and talks and talks, and he'll tell a story, right? And the story, I don't know if it's done or if he's getting to the point. He just
goes,
he's just going. And
sounds about right.
Some people just love the sound of their own voice. It's just their nature, isn't it? And I think ICT falls into that category. He just loves you. I think he calls it jawboning, just talking a lot.
So he even has a term for it. That's it. Yeah. That's fine. But in terms of your journey then, so we talked about clearinghouses. So from my I haven't done deep research, to be honest with you. I'm probably guilty myself of just sort of learning technicals, just spending time learning technicals.
But to be honest, the deep research just comes to me as a person.
I
will always, if someone tells me something, okay, I'll do my own due diligence before. I'm not going to say you're wrong. That's arrogance. I would never do. That's ignorance. I'll go and do my own research. Now, what it does for me is it just gives me comfort in knowing the way I trade, the emphasis I have on time is it's real. It's not just a man telling me online
Yeah.
that these things happen and this and that. You know, these things are real. There's real things that you can go online and research. The things was the CLS group, the DTCC, and Fedwire. You can.
In terms of clearinghouses, then, is that where these orders are going to? Is that what you're getting at?
They're
So,
the
like, you
ones.
have the institutions, you have the hedge funds, but for them to place their orders, they don't
Go,
place it
yeah,
themselves.
They don't.
They place it over
So
at
you
these
know how you hear
clearinghouses.
people think it's JP Morgan making the market,
Yeah.
and they're doing it for their high value clients, and they're moving the money around. Who did they go to do it? JP Morgan don't do it. Remember, it's a central bank who owns the currency. So I studied economics and I tutor economics, and the role of a central bank is to create forward markets. This is a role of the central bank. Now the DTCC and the Fedwire is literally the Federal Reserve, right? They coexist with the central bank. They have access to the central bank's liquidity, and they're facilitating the trade, the payments from. So I'll give you an example. There's entity A and entity B, and they want to make a payment from USDs to euros. Now, what they act is essentially like an escrow, right? They go and they do it, and the DTCC is given the payments to payment on the T+2 system, right? So within 2 days, they're going to go and receive it. Now, this is where, okay, why is this useful? Why does it matter, right? Because people think, okay, this might just be saying a lot of words. Why it's important is, how is it delivered? Is it algorithmically, or is it random buying and selling pressure by big funds? This is the importance. Now, it says it's algorithmically delivered. Now, ICT is claiming to show you the signatures of algorithmic delivery at these specific times. Now, you care about, and all I care about is this. I don't care if, there is a mega algorithm. I think there is, for efficiency reasons. I don't think it'll be over the counter no more. We're just at that stage of the world where it won't be, right? I care about the delivery. I don't care about who's doing it. I just care about the delivery, because if there is signatures where it shows it's going to reprice, sell models and buy models, that's what I need to be profitable. That's it. I care about how is it being delivered. I don't care who's delivering it. Is there a signature in knowing how it's going to be delivered? Retracements to fair value gap, institutional order flow, entry draws, these type of things. That's all I care about to know. That's it. That's the framework that I'm trying to work in. Simply.
So based off that then, so you have this knowledge, right? And you have this understanding in terms of potentially being algorithmically delivered. But then do you then off the back of that have your specific entry drills that you then obviously utilize day to day?
Definitely. Yeah. And by the way, with the algorithm, it's not 100%. Of course, there's going to be some sort of skewedness. And even ICT says it does go into a state of manual intervention, right? I'm just, by no means am I ICT maxi. It's just me taking from what I've studied myself.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of my framework, are you familiar with Power of 3, accumulation and manipulation?
I've heard it, yeah.
That's what I do every single day. So if I'm expecting a bullish day, from the opening price, I want to see accumulation beforehand in the Asian range, preferably. The accumulation could go into London. I trade New York and London close specifically. Okay. That's where that's my niche in trading, right? In New York, I'll either look for a simple continuation, or if a point of interest is it, I'll try and frame a reversal trade. Given whatever I am in the Power of 3 model, it's always a Power of 3 on the daily. The daily candles from its open, low, high, close. So let's say it's a bullish day. The bullish candle is most likely to open, make the low, then the high, and then close near the high, right? So I'm waiting for manipulation to the low and seeing confirmation that we're about to expand to make the opposing end of the range. And I'll just, once I have that framework, and this is what people do, they overcomplicate the entry. I need this fair value gap lined up with this order block at this time of day with a optimal trade entry on the fib. All you need to know is this: where is price right now? Where has it come from? Where is the day likely to expand to? Where is price likely to go on this chart that I'm looking at? A simple retracement entry with a safe stop loss. Target where price is likely to go. Rinse and repeat that every single day. I don't know who complicated it. You don't need this ultra 10 pip, 5 pip, 3 pip stop loss. I usually have a 2-to-1, max 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. 4-to-1 I barely get. I'll usually,
so rather than fixed risk to reward, it's more where does it make sense for price to go?
Exactly. My take profit is in a place where price should smash, essentially, right? So it's, if I'm bullish, I'm going to put at the buy side liquidity pool, or I put at like an inefficiency, like an imbalance, right? Now, if that's a 2-to-1, I'll take a 2-to-1. If it's a 1.8-to-1, I'll take a 1.8-to-1. If it's a 5-to-1, it's a good day for me. I'm gonna go and try get the 5 to 1. I don't have a fixed R, because a fixed R, right? People just like to stretch that TP because they want to chase money. Now, is that take profit likely to get swerved? And how long do you want to be in that trade? Because as a trader, and I'm from experience, even now, if a trade is open and I'm a scalper, right, I won't even eat until that trade is
You're just fixated
finished.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just too fixated on it. So it does good for your mental health as well if you put a reasonable take profit, because it gets hit, you can go about your day. Simple.
Well, sometimes it depends on obviously the type of entry, I would imagine, because I use fixed R, for example, but it's based on the fact that my overall, so that fixed R will be well within that
Oh, okay.
that take profit. Does
Okay,
that make
okay.
sense? So
Yeah.
like, if it needed to break structure, needed to make new highs, needed to take liquidity and keep going, then obviously I'd reduce it or not take the trade.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it makes sense. Obviously, if you're forcing an R, I never agree with that. Don't I've seen people where they do that as well, where they forcibly try and get a 1 to 5, for example, and that 1 to 5 has to break structure, keep going, keep going, keep going,
Yeah.
and it's way off, right? And there is a way less likely chance of it hitting, but yet they'll keep it there for the sake of the 5R.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. But in terms of your journey then, so obviously you started quite young, and as you said, you took a gap year as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, did you get any resistance from family in terms of the gap year and
Yeah.
trading?
It was very tough. So in school, you familiar with the UK system in school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So sixth form is 2 years, year 12, year 13.
Mm.
Alhamdulillah, I was always pretty bright in school, but I was very troublesome.
Mhm.
I used to have some friends, and just used to muck around in school. In year 12, I was predicted 3 U's. I done mathematics, economics, and business, and
Mm.
it's a crazy story. In year 13, I switched it on because I have older brothers. School wasn't for them as well, and I'm the middle one, and no one in my family ever made it to university,
Mm.
and I have pressure because I have a cousin, right, and now he's graduated from Oxford with a PPE degree, which is like the
Incredible.
most prestigious degree that you can get from Oxford, right?
Mm.
So obviously it's like a family comparison. Oh, how is he doing?
Yeah.
Whatever. Uh, in year 13, I turned it around and I got the highest grades in my year,
Incredible.
and it was pretty crazy. But it's deeper than that. What it showed is this: when I put my mind down and I used the brain that God gifted me, I could make things work. And it's that knowing. You see, school, and I tell people this all the time. School is just deeper than your grades, because it teaches you that if you're consistent studying at the right things and you're determined, you can get it done. Now, you can take that same hard work from school and apply it to every facet of your life.
Mm.
If it's in the gym, financial goals, whatever it is, you can apply that to all facets of your life. Now, I took a gap year because with the 3U's predictions, you can't really do much in terms of apply to universities.
You can't go
So
much
I
further.
took a
Yeah.
gap year, and this is where it got hard, right? So I could pretty much apply everywhere with the grades I got, right? I got an A star and 2 A's. Now, my mind at this point was just Oxford, 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 because my cousin, right? So I applied to Oxford. If you don't know what Oxford University is, kind of a pretty prestigious university, and
It's like the Stanford. It's like the
yeah,
MIT. You
at
know.
the top of of the UK, right?
Mhm.
Now, with Oxford, it's a bit different to just applying and getting it. So I applied to Oxford. I didn't do Cambridge, UCL, King's College, Queen Mary, and I think LSE. I got replies from all of them. Oxford, they make you do tests and exams.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
I
like a
had,
private school type thing.
so I done the exam, and my secondary school paid for it, and then the interview, and I smashed it and I got the offer. But one condition of Oxford is this: you have to live out. You can't do remote study at Oxford. You have to
Yeah,
live
I
out
think
there.
so. Yeah.
And I didn't want to take a maintenance loan. I didn't want to do that. My mum was against, like, whatever. But then my mum kind of said, "But it's Oxford."
Yeah.
And I said, "I can't do that, mum." Like, it was for people asking, it was for economic management in Oxford, and it was really hard for me, bro. It was so hard. People might think I'm lying, but I declined Oxford. I I saw it, and at this point, it was in my gap year, and I was really fixated on training because I was seeing progression fast. I like to say I'm academically ahead of the curve, and it's just like that in life. If you know you are, like, take advantage of what you got. I was getting this trading thing very fast. I was every single day seeing progression and saying, I think price is gonna go here from where it is right now, and boom, it's doing it. On my demo account, it's doing it. This is inside of ICT's mentorship, right? Now, instead of going for Oxford, I went to King's College. I'm still at King's College. I'm in my last year now,
Mm.
and I'm studying accounting and finance instead. I'm not the best in terms of studying because I can't shift my focus to studying that much. I have a few other things other than trading as well. Um, it's a bit tough, but yeah, I don't want to drop out because I just want to finish it just for myself, and I'll be the first person in my family to kind of do university. In terms of trading, when I told mum there was one point I said I don't even want to go uni at all, mum. I can have a lot of conversations with my mum. I'm kind of blessed. Like, I'm Asian. I know like not a lot of people can have conversations with their parents. They're really fixated on university.
Hmm.
My dad is the complete opposite. I kept my dad out of the loop of it. If I'm all honest, I just tell him I'm in uni, whatnot. And my mama said, I don't want to go uni. I'll do this trading thing. And she was like, she don't believe in it. She don't believe in it at all. Now, at one point, I blew a big account, not a funded account. I was trading a personal account. Now, I was working in Tesco's, and it took me like 5 months to save up this money, and it was really dumb because it was every penny I had. It was £4,000,
Mm.
which is a lot of money to me. Like, even now, it's still a lot of money.
£4,000, £4,000, but £4,000 at like 19, 20 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And especially when you worked 5-6 months, it's everything you got.
Yeah.
Did you have no other
I
savings
had
then? It was
nothing.
everything.
I had nothing, and I put that all into an IC Markets account. And bro, it's so crazy. It was GBP, JPY, and this I have PTSD with JPY.
It does that. It does that.
I don't even look at that pair anymore. People ask me, "Oh, can you look at?" Okay, whatever. I just get that over done with quick.
Yeah.
And then I had a swing trade, and I was in good profit for the account was from 4K. Now, the risk management was pretty poor. It was like 5% risk a trade. I flipped that account to 16K and it was all in profit. It was a pyramided trade, right? So the trade is still going, and this is Brexit time for the UK. So you can imagine Brexit and GBP.
Or when all the volatility was
Yeah.
going on.
Boris was in charge at this time as well. One day, I remember, like, if you show me the chart, I can show you the weekly candle of it. It was in August, a few years ago in August, and my account got deleted in a day. I remember I was at Tesco, and every single day I was like, I'm gonna leave here, man. Like,
I've made the money.
I'm like 16K up. Like, this is a lot of money. I can 1% is gonna be £200 now. Like, I'm making it. I've done it. And on the bus home from Tesco, I see it's eating into my profits. I go home, right, and I'm on a PlayStation party with my friends playing Call of Duty, and I see my account just red. I removed the stop losses because I thought,
it will turn around. Yes.
run on stops, right? It's got to just be a shakeout type thing. And my account went zero from 4K to 17K to zero, all in the span of like a month. And I was defeated. I gave up trading for a bit at this point. If I'm honest, I was like, I can't stomach that. I was literally depressed. And I'm saying this openly to you guys now. It's nothing, right? It's part of the journey, whatever.
But at the time, obviously, in that moment.
Manage your risk, because you will enter dark places in your life. I don't want anyone to ever experience what I experienced at that point. Like, I was sleeping and waking up and wishing, I wish it's nighttime so I can just get another day over and done with. I was proper, like, in my feelings. And then I kind of shrugged it off. And one day, like, I say all the time is the healer of everything, right? You'll get over it. A few months down the line, I remember it so clearly. I was just brushing my teeth, looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, you know what? Give it a go again. Like, you're good. You know what it is. It's just your risk management just sucked at that point. I gave it a go.
What do you think it was, though? You know, so it's 4K. And you'd saved up, obviously, for 5 months. Was it just how old were you at the time? Maybe 19, 20?
I was 19.
Yeah. So was it just the realization that this could, allow me to do certain things? Did you have a certain image that you wanted?
Once I saw that account and that was real money, 17K, I said, you were close. I tasted it. I was at when you're at the doorstep of the bakery and you can smell it, but you're just not inside. That was me. I was smelling it. I just didn't get to taste it properly. And then I gave it another go. And alhamdulillah, it's been only upwards since. Funded max with MFF. I was even featured on an interview with MFF on their YouTube. Last year done quite a lot on funded accounts in general. This year I'm trying to actually expand. I have spoken to a few people about other types of capital. It's going well. There's still funded capital as well. I'm trying to go for one with a leaderboard this year. I think getting on a leaderboard would be a bit cool, bragging rights type.
What do you think about that, though? So, like, for me, I don't really, leaderboards wise, I think it's like
it's all there to blow your account.
I think so, yeah. I think people, it's because I've met people where they said, "Oh, my goal," and they're not consistent yet. right? So not even consistent yet, not even funded yet. But they go, my goal is to get back to back 3 months on the leaderboard. And I'm like, how is that your first goal? Like,
Yeah, it's
why is that the first thing you say in terms of your goal when you're not consistent, you're not even funded, but yet your goal is to get fund apparently past funding
yeah,
and
to
get
the top
free
of the
back to
leaderboard.
back. Yeah.
Yeah,
When in reality, if you look at their stats, everyone who gets on that leaderboard blows their account the next month.
it's very true.
Yeah.
And if you look at the stats, it's even worse. They don't even make it to the first payout,
Mm,
let alone the leaderboard. And
exactly.
I'll tell you straight, this whole VIP MFF, right? This whole 14 days bi-weekly payout, it's all there to blow your account. I don't know if the platform's gonna like this. It's there to make you trade faster.
Yeah.
Because now, right? So MFF and I help people trade, right? And I told them, look, when you pass the first month, you have to trade a month. What you're gonna do is this: make 1 or 2% of your account and sit on that account, do your minimum trading days, and get your refund. Once you got your refund in an investment wise, you're risk free, right? You're risk free, and whatever, if you lost that account, and it might hurt financially, you're okay. You probably make profit on an ROI basis, right?
Yeah.
Now, what people do is this: they see, okay, now I get paid every 14 days. 10 days pass, I'm in drawdown, but I get payout in 4 days. Let me just go risk. If you
Let me
miss
get
that,
it to 1% or
if you
whatever.
miss that 14 day, it doesn't mean that you cannot then go and make more profit, right? You can go and wait till 15, 16, 17 days. You can still get paid out. Then
You can wait 2 months. I don't think there's a
exactly,
rule, right?
exactly. I tell people all the time this, yeah. Let's say you got 100K account. Now, let's say you're on 2 to 3% drawdown. You have as long as you need to get out of the drawdown. How much longer is it to blow the account and pass another one? It's way longer than if you trade with your head screwed on, get out of the drawdown. And drawdowns aren't meant to be get out of fast. This is the thing, right? I told people, and I apply something called a dynamic risk profile, right? This is how I trade. From the initial, I risk 1%. Now, if I make a buffer of, let's say, 4%, I'll increase it to 1.5%. Because now if I take a loss, it doesn't hurt. And if I win, my win is just bigger, right? But when I'm in drawdown, you enter a danger territory. Automatically, you're in danger zone. The reason being is because your account's under balance, and now your tilt kind of creeps into you, as in the stress of a trader, right? No one likes to see a red or under. You know, when you're on 100K and it goes to like 99K, that little shave off the
As
digit.
soon as it comes down lower and lower.
It's a bit. It gets to all of us, right? Some people manage it better than others, though. Take time